Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I am Chris Witt, and with me, as always, is Mr. Adam Schmidt. Adam, how are you today?
I'm great. Today.
I like great. You got an L on the basketball side of the world today, which is a tough one, but great still nonetheless. I like that.
That's right. Because we had great guests the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But it's nice to be back. It's nice to be back, the two of us, and
it feels a little more intimate now. It feels like home right now. This feels like home.
Yeah. Feels like home.
And we just did this podcast on Sunday. Today's Wednesday. Pretty short thing, but
that's another part of it. I love that we're doing two podcasts.
Yeah, the same way. Yeah, in 4 days. But I mean, it's kind of a bummer because we both watched Monday Night Football. Damar Hamlin goes down. He's still in critical condition. We're going to talk about that, obviously in depth. Not in depth, but at least talk about it. Everybody else has talked about it. Maybe throw a little bit of our own little spin on it. Maybe not what we think, but just what we think about other people and how they think. How about that? Does that kind of make sense?
I think that's where we'll go with it mostly.
Yeah. And then of course, you have a couple of the most unbelievable NBA individual performances in the last few years that go down over the last couple of days. So we'll get into a little bit of that as well. But before we get into that, as we start every single podcast out with, Adam, what is our Reese's candy bar of the day?
So glad you asked. We have we're finished with Christmas now. The next thing, and by the way, it's getting crazy, is January 1st. Valentine's Day stuff is out.
Isn't that insane?
December
Crazy,
26th, I think, in some places.
So crazy.
Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day is the dumbest, the biggest joke of a holiday I think ever. But 2 months long, we're celebrating it now.
Yep,
2 months long.
It's like anything else. I mean, there's Christmas in April now. Christmas stuff is in Hobby Lobby in when I was there. I used to unload Christmas stuff in April.
That's right. The only good thing about it is you get the special candy that comes out.
Oh yeah.
These are hearts. Now you have the regular size hearts, right? Like the trees or whatever. These are like a big heart.
Wow. This is I'm gonna go ahead and say this is about 3.5 inches wide by 3.5 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably a good half inch or more thick. This, my friend, this is what I'm talking
about. I need this after the loss today. So I'm excited to get into it. I'm hoping this isn't this is peanut butter and chocolate. I was going to say, I hope this isn't like a solid chocolate thing because it kind of looks like
it's Reese's, man. All these special Reese's like this, they're going to have the harder chocolate on the outside.
Yeah.
Plus these feel a little cold, which means it's probably a little chilled, which means the chocolate's going to be a little harder anyway.
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is a little bit harder chocolate on the outside. Nice foil wrapper. Adam, you've taken your first bite, my friend. I'm going to let you chew that for a second. And as always, I'm going to ask you first impressions.
Last time we had the harder chocolate like this, I think we might have both agreed not as good, not quite as good as the softer chocolate or the thinner layer. Still good. My first bite was mostly chocolate.
Yeah, though, I feel like you got to get to the middle of this to really get a feel for what it is. Because this is, the chocolate itself is thick. I mean, look, that's quarter inch thick chocolate right there. Maybe even more, maybe 3/8 thick. That's a lot of chocolate.
You can buy that at Home Depot. Yeah. In the second bite, I had more peanut butter, much better.
Mm-hmm.
Much better. Man.
This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
Because I'll also say this. The chocolate's not bad. Like, there's a big hunk of chocolate in there. You can get on that first bite. But it's not bad. It's not bad chocolate.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
Is this in poor taste that we're eating a heart while Damar Hamlin is?
Oh man. No, this is our way of thinking and bringing in respect to what happened. And by the way, can I, before we get into the Damar Hamlin stuff, I just want to say Dan Orlovsky gets a lot of flack from a lot of people because he's got a lot of weird takes about food and different stuff like that, just in general, and about the NFL too. He did one of the coolest things I saw. Did you see Dan Orlovsky on NFL Tonight? I believe it was Tuesday, or NFL Today or something on Tuesday, I think it was.
I don't think so.
He came out and he said, everybody keeps talking about prayers and having prayers with everybody and the power of prayer. And this may not be the right thing to do. And I didn't tell anybody I was going to do this. I don't know if he said that exactly, but it kind of seemed that way. He said, but I'm going to bow my head. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to say a prayer right here on air. And he bowed his head, said a prayer right there on air. And I was like, man, that is like, because for a place like ESPN, they're not just going to be like, all right, go say a prayer. Like that's,
right.
They got to be
toe the line.
Yeah, they got to toe the line and, and be as politically correct as they possibly can. And that dude just, he said, you know what? This is bigger than this is, ESPN, do what you want to do, but this is what I feel like I need to do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And he bowed his head and the girl who's the host does the same thing, close her eyes. And I think Swagoo was on the other side and he the same way. And you could see, and it was really cool.
I don't want to, what if he just said it all up like that and went, bless us, O Lord, and these that
my
gives,
God.
which we are about to receive. What if he did that?
That would be bad.
It would be bad. Funny and really bad.
He'd be canceled like everybody's trying to do a Skip Bayless right now.
Yeah. And Bart Scott,
And Bart Scott. Especially in Cincy. A lot of Cincinnati people are trying to cancel Bart Scott.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to cancel.
Do you know
Skip
what
Bayless.
Skip Bayless said? I don't know that I saw the original fact. I saw him like trying to explain it.
Yeah. I don't have my phone here, so I can't read it to you exactly, but I'll tell you what it was. It starts off and it says something about if they're going to leave, if these players I can't imagine how I'll tell you, I want to read it. I want to read the actual tweet.
Okay.
Because I don't want to try to say something and it be way off. So I'm going to, because he has said he's not taking it down. I mean, because Shannon Sharp did not go to work on Tuesday.
Mm-hmm. I heard of that.
And they got into a heated discussion. And Shannon Sharp even said, and he said, whatever, I respect him and all this stuff. He goes, but I really would like for him to take it down. And he interrupted him and said, I'm not taking it down. I stand by what I tweeted.
Wow.
So I'll read this to you. Because it's, I'm sure it's everywhere by now. We'll go to people.
I know. I don't know how I didn't hear the original thing.
I saw it when it came out. Let's see. As far as I know, he hasn't taken it down yet. 11. I'll see. See, this dude probably tweets way too much.
Mm-hmm. Nobody likes him.
Okay, here we go. So, yeah, he tweeted quite a bit right off the bat. So, first it's, not exactly sure what happened to Damar Hamlin. Players on both teams are shaken. Ambulance out on the field. CPR administrator. Can't remember play being stopped for this length of time. Just said a prayer for him and his family. Okay. So we'll start with that. That's the very first tweet while the game's going on. I know, actually, he said something about finally a team won the toss and went boss taking the ball, not deferring. But this team has Joe Burrow and this team is ahead 7-0. All right. So he's tweeting during the game. He says the next one is about the Damar, about the CPR and all that. I've seen so many horrific injuries suffered on football fields, yet never have I seen a reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, hey, that's football. For these players, this was different, and different's big. So he's very, very mindful of what's going on in this, right? So this is the one. This is the tweet that came next. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game. But how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome. ... which suddenly seems so irrelevant. So he is saying what everybody's thinking, which is, holy crap, like what are they going to do? Like we all thought there's no way this game's getting played. As that went for, did you see it live and everything?
I watched the whole thing.
So I'm sitting there talking to my wife and talking to my son, and I'm like, there's no way these guys can go back out on the field. They were giving CPR to this guy. And then you find out later that they had to defibrillate him or whatever too. Mm-hmm. So these people were watching this happen on the field. Like if that happens at your work, that nobody's working the rest of that day. Like everybody's shook up. Yeah. So we're talking here. Who it is. Sure. Okay. So I was talking to my wife. I was like, there's no way they can, because they're not coming back out on this field. When they took them off the field, I was like, there's no chance that they're going to be coming back. So that's when he says, no doubt, NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. So he's exactly saying, like, what everybody's thinking, what do we do about this game? It's literally was being talked about as the biggest game of the year up until that point. And then he also says, but that's irrelevant now because a guy is he didn't say because he's holding on for dear life.
It was implied.
But it's implied, which is suddenly so irrelevant. And that is when everybody went nuts, because he didn't immediately say, he wasn't automatically talking about, still saying prayers for Damar, thinking about you, nothing else matters, which his last two, that's what he was talking about. So then he comes back, nothing is more important than the young man's health. That was the point of my last tweet. I'm sorry if that was misunderstood, but his health is all that matters. Again, everything else is irrelevant. I prayed for him and will continue to. So, go ahead.
Shannon Sharpe didn't show up for work because of that tweet.
I don't know that that's true. I don't know. I just know that Shannon Sharpe was not on Undisputed on Tuesday morning.
I saw the same thing. Somebody said Shannon Sharpe didn't show up for work because he's so mad about that.
Nope.
At him or whatever. If that's the case, fire Shannon Sharpe. That's what I mean. I'm not the fire somebody guy, but number one, fire Dusty. Number two, fire Shannon Sharpe, because that's insane. If he didn't show up for work because he's mad about that tweet,
that's not being. I don't know. I'm not even going to imply that because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he had that day off. Maybe he
was so shaken up by.
Sure, he's an NFL player. These NFL players, man. It's a different kind of community. You know what I mean? Like something like that happens. That's pretty rough. Maybe he was consoling. Maybe he's one of these guys in the NFL that ton of them, they bring these Hall of Famers back and they're mentors for people. Maybe he was up all night, literally making phone calls to his the kids that he mentors and stuff. I could totally, that's the first thing I thought was he called and he was like, and then he did say on Undisputed that he didn't agree with what he said, and I wish that you would take it down. He goes, and then he immediately got interrupted. I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw that little part. I want to say this. All of this stuff is insane that this is how it comes down. This is what it comes down to. You got a kid sitting in a hospital right now, and all anybody wants to do on Twitter is find something that somebody said wrong. You're going to sit there and say, all we should be doing is thinking about Hamlin right now. This is all, and that is all we should be doing. But you're not doing it right now. You're not, you're beating up on somebody. Like, ignore it. Like, let that, even if you think it's wrong, why do you got to comment on it? You should just, dude, all negativity needs to be brought out of the situation. This needs to be like as much positivity pushed towards that family as you can possibly get.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. That's the thing that people talk about Twitter all the time. It's just it's a haven for people to just be nasty and mean and say whatever they want and whatever. I get that's probably why I don't get on Twitter anymore. I have not looked at Twitter since, because on Monday I was kind of getting on when all this went down. It was the first time I'd been on in forever. But you're trying to figure out what's going on, see if anybody's got any news. And then my sister started texting me with stuff she had heard, and I immediately got off Twitter right there. And I was like, you know what? I'm not doing this. And then Aaron tells me something that somebody said at the game, and I'm like,
that's what I wanted to
you got to stop. We've got to stop all this. somebody texted Aaron and said they haven't something. He must be okay or something. I can't remember exactly what they said. But they stopped. The ambulance hasn't even left yet. It's in the tunnel, and implied something. They were at the game. I guess they saw it, and I was like, this doesn't even make sense. But there's got to be a reason. I mean, they'll work on him. The ambulance doesn't have to be stopped to work on him. Like they're going to work on him on the way there. It's how it works. Mm-hmm. Well, it turns out they're trying to get mom out of the stadium to get in the bus with her, in the ambulance with her. Like it makes sense. But everybody's making a big deal. Why is this thing not going? What's going on? And they're like harping on things, like a ton of speculation. Like these people brought this dude back to life, gave him CPR, got him in there. Thank God his mom was there. Yeah. I could not imagine being like his uncle, listening to his uncle who was there with Hamlin's little 7-year-old brother. 7-year-old brother.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. The uncle just did a thing. It was on, I don't know if it was on ESPN. I think it was on ESPN or WCPO or local. Can't remember, but his uncle was talking and said, he basically said, I can't look at him. I think they had him like laying on his stomach, something like helped with his, I can't remember exactly what the guy said, but I did see the part where he said he was with Damar Hamlin's little brother in Pittsburgh when it happened and he said he was immediately like screaming and crying and upset, and they're trying to console him. And then they're watching the TV and they saw what was going on with the game. And then they're immediately trying to console each other. I get cold chills. Yeah. Immediately try to console each other. And they got 2 carloads of people immediately packed in 2 carloads of people and left Pittsburgh and came straight to Cincinnati.
Yeah. Thank God it's not a super far drive. I mean, it's 4 hours.
Yeah. Well, that's the reason his mom was probably there, because it's a nice, easy drive.
Yeah.
And thank God she was there, because bad enough for family to have to witness that on TV.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
To be a mom or a dad and to be hours away. Sometimes, I mean, imagine if it was across country, to be days away. Like that would be,
if they were playing in one of the California teams or something like that.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
So anyway, yeah, the speculation that people constantly, I don't remember who said it. Somebody said something to the point of, it's really awesome that everyone wants to get an update on his status. Mm-hmm. We get it. But sometimes in this new age of right now, sometimes you have to take a step back and you just have to wait your turn.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I was doing the same thing. I'm on Twitter constantly, checking everything I could. I watched for the next hour and a half after the game, watched Sports Center, watched Scott Van Pelt have guys on, and
the Ryan Clark thing was really cool.
Ryan Clark was like, and then he had guys who were in front of the hospital, Ben Baby and a bunch of people that he had on, and just getting updates constantly and just talking about it. That I'm looking for updates, but I'm also kind of like, I got to work this morning and I hear 2 different conversations in the office going on about it. I wasn't in either one of them, but I could hear them both. And I'm already starting to be like, okay, can we talk? Can we say something different about it? Or can we, we know you don't have to say, oh gosh, it's such a bad thing. If you come to me and say that, I'm like,
yeah,
it is a bad thing, of course. And I guess that's how you start that kind of thing, the conversation about that. But God, just hearing the same exact thing, and then also hearing the speculation, and then finding out that some of it's wrong and some of it's right. Like that's the problem too, is I really like social media for a lot of reasons, but it's also really dangerous in this situation. Like you were just talking about, everybody wants to have the right answer first and everything, and not just media people, like regular people. And anything they hear, they're regurgitating that, and maybe with their own twist. Mm-hmm. So you're getting, I want to find, I think finding credible sources is a skill now. Mm-hmm. You have to try to do that the best you can, but we don't even know what credible sources are anymore, because the news stations are have their spin on all kinds of things now.
Well, the news stations, they all have to be it's all a race to be the first person to say something. So whatever they hear, they just say it. And if it's right, then they're the first one. If it's wrong, well, I'll get them next time.
Yeah.
That's not
We're not going
journalism.
off the air if we're wrong.
That's not journalism.
Right. Correct. And everybody's a journalist now, even if you're it's not your profession. So it's weird. Like I heard that he's brain dead. He's gonna die in the next day. That's the other thing is it's really weird to hear people talk about it like he's already dead.
Really? The crazy part about that is of everything that I've heard, that I've not heard anything like that. Everything has been,
nobody's said that he is, but the way people are talking about it.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
I've heard a ton of people talk about it, even on TV, like all the thoughts and prayers with the family and everything. And I can't believe such a devastating time that they're going through. It is, but just some of the phrasing that I'm hearing from people is like, it sounds like he already died. Like, can we be a little more careful about how we're saying things? Because it sounds like, some people are really making it sound like what he's done.
The good news on that note is
he's not.
The actual doctors who have talked to the family and the family who has talked to either the Bills or the media have all said that things are continually, his vitals are getting better. His oxygen numbers, his O2 numbers are getting better. He's still sedated, I believe, and he's got they are breathing for him.
Yeah, that's getting better though.
But that's getting better. Yeah. All these things are getting better, and the fact that it's there. We have an uncle who had CPR and got airlifted when he was in Colorado. Like, I don't know how long it was, but for a while he's good now, and he was in his 50s when that happened. You like to think and you like to hope that they were on top of it. They got him moving. They've got him alive. They've got him breathing. They've got him getting better. That this is going to be a good thing.
Yeah.
I believe, and I'll speak it into existence. He's going to be okay. Yeah. He's going to be. I'm going to tell you. I'll speak it into existence right now. I'm going to do it. Isn't that what they say? Right? You speak it into existence. It's positivity or whatever you want to call it. He's going to be okay. This kid is going to be tough. He's going to be okay.
Would it be messed up if we end up hearing like tomorrow morning that at 10:50
that would be messed
tonight,
up? 100%.
He just like got up and was totally fine out of nowhere.
That wouldn't be messed up. That'd be so awesome.
Yeah,
great. I'm telling you, like I'm speaking it into. I thought you were going to say something else. I was like, don't be doing what everybody else is doing. Adam.
No. Just like those words,
I'm speaking it into existence right now. 10:58, almost 10:59. We'll let 10:59 be a number as well. I'll take a 2-minute interval of me bringing this kid. No, I'm just kidding.
Plus or minus 2 minutes. Yeah.
But that's the thing. But it's getting better. So that's all good. Did you see? So my nephew was pretty shook up with this. My nephew is he's very heartfelt. He's very emotional. That's the word I'm looking for. He's an emotional kid. And his emotions run high, and he's a huge sports guy. This kid is as sports oriented as you can get. And he's pretty shook up with this whole thing last night. My sister was texting me, and he wanted to donate he immediately last night or Monday night. This is Monday night. He donated Monday night to this guy's foundation.
Oh, cool.
And it's a toy drive that this guy does. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's a toy drive. And he was trying to get, I want to say it was like 25 grand is what Hamlin was. That was his goal, to raise 25 grand for this Toys for Kids thing. He's at, last I saw, which was at like 5:30, he was at $6.6 million.
I saw that.
And really cool. And it was a GoFundMe or whatever. And Jim Irsay and the Indianapolis Colts was the last one that was listed. You can see the people if they say the list. It's a Jim Irsay and the Colts, $25,003.
Oh,
how cool is that?
Yeah,
because he's number 3.
Right.
It was $25,003.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that is that. I'm going to say this. For me, I love I love the love
Yeah.
that gets surrounded by it. I know that there's the stuff that's good. There's always going to be stuff that's going to get on my nerves with everything that goes down. But I truly believe that's the minuscule few. I believe 90% of people in this world are not those people. They are just not say much, think it in your head. You're praying, you're hoping, you're everything you can do, donating. Geez, Pete's $6.2 million. It was like Jim Irsay, $25,000, $3, and then like $8, $7, $15. And it was a bunch of, but it's every little thing, man. And these, I mean, like I said, he's 11 years old. I think he probably gave $15. Well, I don't know. Kid saves his money better than anybody. He probably got more money than me. But anyway, yeah, he said, but that's what she told me. She said, I'm hoping he's really hoping that it gets to $1 million is what she told me on Monday. And then I texted her today and I said $6.6 million.
That's cool.
That's so cool.
That's cool. So, to even say anything about the game, like that's what everybody was saying during the game and right after the game, all the coverage was like, don't even talk about the game. If you talk about the game, you're a bad person.
Yeah. That's where the Skip Bayless stuff came from.
And but at some point you do talk about
you have
what's gonna happen.
You have to.
And people are now.
And we're 2 days away, and this is becoming a big thing.
Yeah. So what I mean, I've heard everybody's theories. I heard it within 5 minutes at work. I heard, well, you just can't play it's just going to have to be a no contest. You just can't play the game. They're going to play less games than everybody else, and somebody's going to be upset about it. And then less than 5 minutes later, I heard a different person say, all you got to do is push the playoffs back a week. And it's really easy to do that. Like all you do is like play next week and then push all the playoffs back. Like, well, that kind of doesn't really make sense.
None of it makes sense. There's no way to make sense of it. There's none. So if you were to push the play, because you've got a week bye in between the Super Bowl and the championship games, if you were to push that back and you play this game, and that's the only game that gets played, right? Let's say that happens, which that is not. I'm going to tell you right now, that ain't happening. If that were the case, now every other team in the playoffs, or not, it would be after week 18. So we'd play week 18, and then every team in the playoff gets a bye, except for these two who are trying to get a bye, who are both legit in an opportunity to get a bye in the first round of playoffs. That's not going to happen.
Right.
It's not that I personally don't think that's going to happen. I could be wrong. I think the thing that's more than likely is that it's going to go that way. It's going to be, they will have 2 less games played. Everything's going to come down to winning percentage, and kind of like I heard Adam Schefter say this, and desperate times, desperate measures kind of a thing. Like, it is what it is. You had 16 games to go out, or 17, you had that many games to go out there and prove what you could do. And if it didn't happen, it didn't happen. But this is a bigger, like, what happened? This is insane. This has never happened before. So we're all just gonna have to deal with it for a year. Like, it's just gonna have to happen that way. Yeah. And the Chiefs will end up with the number 1 seed in the bye, and the Bengals and the Bills are gonna have to play in the first round of the wild card as division leaders. And that's just gonna be, in my mind, that's what it is. Now, the NFL came out and said that they just started talking about this morning. Mm-hmm. They have not spoke. I don't know how much of that is true or how much of that is in their statement. It legit said, we have not even started talking about that until this morning. So, after Skip Bayless and everybody else already almost goes down, we know the NFL. They were talking about it immediately. Yeah. We know the NFL. Yeah. But anyway, besides the point, they hadn't come up with an outcome, but they said we have to come up with something in the next couple of days. You have to.
I heard it's going to be and has to be played in the next 2 days. And then I heard there's no way it's ever going to be played. And then I heard it has to be played in the middle of a week. Like, I don't know.
What's your thought? If you were the NFL right now, what would there's no best case scenario. So just what would make the most sense? Nothing's going to make sense, but what would make the most sense?
I think playing the week after the Super Bowl. I think that's the only way to do it. I think you have to play it the week after the Super Bowl. And if one of those teams is in the Super Bowl, you're playing the week after this. I'm sorry. That's the way it goes. There is. I agree. I
just love that. I would love to be somebody listening to this podcast. I was trying to be quiet and not laugh too hard. I was trying to make that sound as serious as possible.
Because in my head, this off. This is the dumbest guy I've ever heard.
That's what I was going to say. I would love to somebody go after the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
How's that? What? Huh? I would love to have been a fly on the wall in somebody's millions of people that watch this is his case. Anyway, no. What? So seriously though,
you can. It doesn't seem like there's a time you could possibly play it. If you played it in the middle of the week, you're playing 2 games within 3 or 4 days of each other, and that's in the NFL. That's one of the problems.
I was just going to say that's part of this is player safety. You no chance that goes over right now. Everything in the NFL is about player safety right now. This is a player safety issue, and then you're going to make these guys play in the middle of a week. Zero chance the NFL does that.
I'm trying to remember somebody on national TV, I think on ESPN, maybe somebody said something like that night. And I was like, I'm so glad somebody had the guts to say that. They were like, talking about how brutal the sport is and how violent it is and everything. And they said, the NFL probably shouldn't exist. It's not, and I'm like, thank you. I know everybody loves the NFL and I watch football and everything and I like football, but it's really weird to think about. And especially since everybody's getting bigger and faster and stronger and healthier and things like this are more brutal now. That was the other thing. I keep jumping all over the place.
But you're a combat sport guy.
Yeah. Yep. That's another thing too. I had a conversation with another person too that was like, this is exactly why I don't understand why people are so into these sports. It doesn't make any sense. Boxing is you're just punching each other in the head, giving each other brain damage every punch. And I'm like, you know what? That's right too. Honestly,
I was just gonna say you can't have one. You can't have one and not the other. It's the combat sports, and you can put the NFL 100% into a combat sport.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yep. And I'll tell you what, people would be devastated. There would be, the economy would take a hit and everything. But that would recover eventually. It's not like the country runs because of football. The country runs because of boxing or MMA. There's tons. There's trillions of dollars in those sports. But it's not. If they did go away, guess what? People wouldn't be happy. Everybody would be okay.
Yeah,
they would.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
That's not even.
Of course.
That one's.
But it's interesting to think about.
But to hear somebody actually legit say it, I mean, like if the NFL didn't exist, would this game be created right now in this time frame in this era of the world that we live in?
Stuff that happens now, but I don't know. But yeah.
You want to hear another good one that I heard? Somebody said, so the whole point of this is not the whole point. I take that. That's the wrong thing to say. So the one of the biggest things about this, so the Bengals have to have a Chiefs loss in order for them to possibly get the number 1 seed. They would have to beat the Bills and they would have to beat the Ravens, and the Chiefs have to lose this week to the Raiders. They have to. Otherwise, the Bengals, it wouldn't matter. The Chiefs and the Bills kind of hold their own destiny, right? Like the Bills, if they were to play, if this Bengals game were to have been played or could be played, the Bills have the number 1 seed. If they were to lose to the Patriots and the Chiefs win, then the Chiefs would get it and vice versa, right? So the Bills hold it. The Bills would have held the destiny in their hands by not playing this game and the Chiefs winning and the Bills winning in week 18 against the Patriots. the Chiefs would get the number 1 seed because of the amount of games they played. So their winning percentage would be higher. That's not exactly fair either. To now the Bills are getting what's the word I'm looking for? Are getting punished for not playing this game because they physically couldn't because of what went down. I heard a guy today say he said, if, how did he put it? He said, okay, so the Chiefs would get the number 1 seed. And if the Chiefs and Bills were to play in the AFC Championship, they should just find a neutral place to play it, because technically the Bills could have possibly won that game. And if they beat the Patriots, they would have been the number 1 seed. And the Chiefs kind of snuck their way into the number 1 seed. So they should just play it at a neutral, somewhere neutral. And that's the silliest thing I've ever heard as well. Like, there's too many ifs and whats and buts and all that stuff.
I also heard somebody say, should they give the Bengals the win because they were winning? I heard somebody say that.
I heard that too. My son said that. Parker, because you're talking about a 9-year-old. So basically, what you're saying is somebody had the same idea as a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
This kid, Parker goes, so does that mean the Bengals win? And I was like, dude, the game's not over. It's officially postponed.
It was like halfway through the first quarter.
Not even halfway. Yeah. It was like 7 minutes. It was early into the yes.
I couldn't believe when I heard that, and I heard somebody say that, and then something like, because I mean they scored the first time and they were marching down the field. They were going to score again right there. I'm like, oh.
Not to mention that there's still 3 quarters of football left after that.
Like, oh my god. Anyway,
if that's the case, then Tom Brady would not be the winningest player in football history. Every time he wins anymore, it's in the 4th quarter.
Yep.
So you can't do that. You're not giving a team a win for 9 minutes of play. It's not going to happen that way either. Everything in my head just keeps going, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. They can't do that. They can't do that. The only thing that actually makes sense is to just say, this is one of the most terrible things to have ever happened. It's unprecedented.
Which surprises me.
It's it's outside of Jack Tatum, killing a guy back in the early 70s, going across the middle, when Jack Tatum used to just try to kill every wide receiver come across the middle. He literally did. I mean, that guy died. I mean, outside of that, this is as unprecedented a thing as I've ever seen. Everybody keeps saying it. So it is what it is. This game's not going to be played. This game's done. That's gone. It's gone.
Yeah.
We're past it. They've already said they're not, like, week 18's happening. Just boom, we're going. I believe the Bills had a walkthrough today for the Patriots. They didn't have the Patriots and the Bills pushed their media day back to Thursday instead of Wednesday. They're supposed to do it today on Wednesday. They pushed it back to Thursday. By the way, we're recording this Wednesday night. Because they weren't talking to the media, but I mean, it's walkthrough day. Like, you have to do it. This is my question for you now, thinking of all that's going on. They've already said that they're going to leave a lot of this up to the Bills and how comfortable they are and what they want to do. If you're the Bills and you sit down and you got this team meeting, you always hear people talk about, like, oh, we're going to rally around, what happened, and we're going to step up. What would Damar want us to do? What would he want us to do? How would this go? I don't know. So part of me thinks, it could be, would Damar want to, like, this dude, when this dude gets up and he's walking and he's talking by the Super Bowl and all this, you don't think this dude wants a Super Bowl trophy to be brought to his hospital room? He might be out of the hospital by then. Mm-hmm. I'm hoping he is. Yeah. He will be. I'm talking it into existence. I'm speaking everything into existence today.
It's going to be tomorrow, actually.
I'm not speaking that. I like to speak things into existence that can possibly happen.
Yeah. He's playing next week against New England. That's all I'm saying.
So, he would love. He wants a ring, right? I'm gonna tell you right now, that kid's gonna want a ring. He gets up. Something's got to come out of this, right? One of those things. That's how if it were me, something like this happened to me, and it is. I'm gonna tell you right now. You call it whatever you want. A freak accident almost feels like a word, because like I said, unprecedented. Don't see it. It wasn't hit to the head like we see so many times. This was just the spot on the chest that is possible. Like and you have, the way I was reading about these things, and I don't know if it's what happened with him. Maybe he had another condition. I don't know, but like these heart shields that they make for baseball players and football players and all the stuff that they wear, they explain the biggest thing is getting hit violently, but at like a certain rhythm of a beat of your heart. Like it's like not like for these things to happen on hard hits to your chest, like you can take a hard hit to your chest, but if it happens at this like exact moment with like that's how incredibly precise these cardiac events can happen, like insane. So anyway, it's unprecedented. But if it's me, when I wake up and I fight through it all, I'm going, boys, y'all better bring me a daggone ring. You understand? I need bring me my ring when y'all win. When you guys win, bring me your. When y'all win, I'm gonna be handing the rings out to everybody.
There you go. Yep. Yeah.
I don't know. So
go ahead.
If you're the Bills, if you're a player in the NFL, which you're not, we can never do that because these people see these.
If I didn't twist my knee, that would be game.
Exactly. These people see each other more than they see their own families.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like if your brother had something happen to him and they're like, I need you to go do this tomorrow. It's like, or this week. And it's part of, let's say you both played basketball and you were in the NBA together. You both played basketball your whole life growing up, and he has a cardiac event in the middle of a basketball game. Mm-hmm. And it's your brother. And you're like, it's the worst thing you've ever seen. They got to shock his heart. They got to give him CPR. And apparently when he gets back to the hospital again, they had to bring him back again. And you all these crazy things are happening. And they're like, oh, by the way, you got to start playing next week. Part of me is like, yeah, I want to play for my bro. But then part of me thinks that part. And it's like, the reason that we are doing all this is because of what happened out there. Like, how do you walk back out there?
People really deal with that stuff differently because there are people that lose close relatives that go to work in the next 2 days or I mean, that stuff does happen for a lot of people. It's like getting into your normal routine helps kind of guide you. Now, maybe you're just pushing it down and it's going to, you're going to grieve in a
different way.
More
Everybody
way
does it different.
Right. But for some people, that's the most helpful thing for them. And so it's just going to depend, I guess, on, and you know what?
They've said it's going to be individual player based. Like
that's
these
exactly
individual players are going to, this is all going to be individual player based.
Those, you saw 2 or 3 guys that everybody was really upset while it was going on. There were 2 or 3 guys that looked like they must be really close with this guy because they were, or just maybe they're more emotional people. But I mean, you could tell a couple of those guys were like really, really affected more than anybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's good. I mean, play the next game, play against New England. But if you don't feel like you can play, especially with all the mental health stuff now too, like,
dude, don't play. There's more to life. And how many people do you think there will be people that will retire from the NFL this year that maybe would not have in the past?
I think it's possible.
I mean, you get a guy like Tua Tagovailoa who's had all these head injuries in this the third time he's been out with a concussion protocol this year. Mm-hmm. And it was Ryan Clark, I think. Ryan Clark was talking about how he went back in after he had his spleen taken out and his gallbladder taken out when they ruptured his spleen on that hit. And there were guys that thought he was going to die in the hospital when they saw him and stuff like that. And he said, Mike Tomlin looked at him and said, if you were my son, I would say you're never playing again.
Yeah. I think he was even cleared by the doctors.
Yeah. And he said, I thank Mike Tomlin every day for that.
Yeah.
Because he was ready to go back. He was ready to go back. And Mike Tomlin was like, if you're my son, you're not doing it. And I'm telling you that's how I feel.
Yeah.
And he never played again. And it was the best thing that could ever happen.
Yeah.
People need those people in their lives to give them some sense like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These people have been competitors. And if you're at that level, you've been pushed and pushed and pushed. And you have something different inside of you that pushes yourself harder than most people to get to where you're at. So you've dealt with injuries, you've dealt with things in the past. So you get injured, you just fight through it, get done, you're ready to come back. You're not in the right mindset to make some decisions for yourself. I truly believe.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I we'll see. There's going to be stuff. Here's the thing: the last 3 days or whatever it's been, 2 days. What's today? 2 days. Every time I get an alert, like an ESPN alert, I'm like, oh my God, please don't be something. And
see, I'm looking forward to the alerts. I really, truly believe everything I've heard over the last 2 days. Everything is positive. I see something and I'm like, all right, come on, tell me what happened.
I didn't see anything positive until this morning when they said he had like a good night. Yeah. Like overnight they saw some signs of improving and stuff like that. But yeah, we talk on and on about all the stuff you see, all the reports and everything. I saw something early this morning that said he's in, or maybe it was late last night, that he's in stable condition, which sounds better than critical, but then everything else the rest of the day said critical, and I'm like,
he's still in the ICU. You're in the ICU. You're not stable.
Yeah, he's not breathing on his own. He's
not stable,
right? So it's just there's so much information out there, and you hope people that have half truths or just kind of get some information from somebody that they you hear stuff through the grapevine, and there's a good chance that something along the way was changed. That telephone game in Joel Vanoli's class, at the end, somebody's going to say something real nasty.
Yep.
Even though the first part of it.
And old Joel Vanoli knows it's coming. And he still does it.
Did it.
He still did it. And he knew it was going to be about.
It's a him problem.
Yeah, he knew it was going to be about him. I think ours had to do with something that he does to squirrels. It was pretty bad. Well, I remember that. And that was not what it said when it got to me. And I passed on what I heard. But by the time it got out to the last person, it was Mr. Vanoli does whatever with squirrels. And and he sat there and he said, see, this is what I'm talking about. And I was like, all right, there, old boy.
Does that so that he can get mad because he just wants to.
I don't know.
Anyway, that is a microcosm of social media.
We apologize. Yeah, that's an old high school teacher that we had that taught church history.
He was a real teacher.
Yes, he was. He was a real teacher.
Anyway, all right. So lots is still come, I'm sure, from all of this stuff. Damar Hamlin, if you want to think about him or pray for him, great. If you just want to follow it, great. But anyway, that's the way that goes. We've got to get into a couple things from the NBA.
Dude, I'm going to tell you what, Spider came out and dropped 71, and LeBron James. Here's another one. LeBron James, because I don't get on Twitter, but I got on Twitter Monday night when this all goes down, and Donovan Mitchell dropped 71 and what was it, 11 assists and 8 boards or something like that, and LeBron James and everybody's tweeting out prayers for Hamlin. 3, we're with you, all this stuff. And LeBron James tweets a spider emoji and a wow or something like that. And everything under is seriously, this is what you're going with. If this just happened, and just getting on him. Like, obviously he wasn't watching the Bengals game. Old boy was watching NBA, which is what he did. And that's what he was talking about on there. So, Donovan Mitchell, congratulations, man. You deserve the congratulations. What an unbelievable game. What do you got to say about it? Because I want to talk about what happened yesterday, Tuesday, the day after. That's what I want to talk about.
The thing that I wanted to bring up, I wasn't sure if you'd seen this. I believe it was today. The NBA came out and said that at the end of that game, so Donovan Mitchell, I believe, got a rebound and scored. Maybe he went down the other end. Somehow he scored like the game tying basket to send it to overtime because this was in overtime. The NBA came out and said, and they have reviews of the games and they rate the officials and all that kind of stuff. And there's the whole accountability thing now with that stuff. The NBA came out and said there was a lane violation that was not called on Donovan Mitchell at the end of that game that led to that basket that sent it to overtime.
Because he got his own rebound off the free throw.
I don't remember. I don't know what the exact play was, but he had a lane violation that was not called that resulted in him scoring that that sent it to overtime. He would have ended up with 56 or something like that. Instead, he had 71 because of that overtime.
Really?
And it shouldn't have never happened.
You know what? I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell my grade school boys basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
Did the ref call it?
No,
did the ref call it?
No, they didn't.
Then it didn't happen. Boy comes up to me, he hit me right in the face. He fouled me. Did the ref call it? No. Well, then play through it. Keep on going. You can't sit here and talk about it now. That's over. Didn't happen. Didn't happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened, but it didn't happen. It didn't get called.
It was just an interesting
plays get missed. See, that stuff to me, that means nothing to me. I'm not going to lie to you. Like that literally, tell
nothing's going to change from
nothing's going to change from it. I can look at every game to ever be played in any sport ever and pick you out probably a dozen plays that didn't get called that would have dramatically changed what happened for guys maybe that obviously got fouled, but then there was no foul call. And instead, it's a breakaway bucket or a breakaway 3 or something, transition 3. And now it's a 5-point swing and they lost by 2. Like, oh, well, here you go. That's one play in the first quarter that would have changed. You're telling me that would have changed? I'm just saying, if it doesn't get called, that's why you have humans out there. It's the human aspect of the game.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get called, then it doesn't get called. It didn't happen.
It did happen, but it didn't get called. Yeah.
That's fine. But I'm not dwelling on that. There's no chance, because I guarantee you the opposite way, there's probably 3 or 4 calls that could have gone the opposite way and made things go differently.
Yeah.
That way.
Yeah.
That's just the one play that they're going to talk about because it's at the end of the game. It's always the end of the game. Those are what the big plays that they talk about
and
are.
it led to the basket. Yeah.
Sure. And it led to a basket, which a lot of missed calls lead to baskets throughout the game. It's same as, people go back and they look at the Eli Manning throw to who's the guy who caught the ball on top of his head? David Tyree, who caught the ball on top of his head in that Patriots game. And they pick out 4 different holds, blatant holds. I mean, it's not even close. These are easily called holds. Guess what? Didn't happen. They got a Super Bowl. It's over. It didn't happen. Like, you can complain all you want. What is complaining doing? It's doing nothing for you right now. Don't complain. Work harder, get better. Don't let it come to that play. Don't let it come to that play.
Yeah. Yep.
Sorry, that's just
I'm 98, 99% that, and also, really, really unfortunate when
sure
something that should be called isn't. You know what? And I had a moment of being kind of angry about it because the NBA has so many things like that are just because they're the best players in the world, and it's just this level that
they let them get away with things.
Yes, the trivial. It's not even trivial because it's a rule that should be called, but the stuff like that, it just becomes a thing. Like, everybody, there's a lane violation on every free throw.
It goes back to, that's as big as the traveling stuff, right? Like, people talk about traveling all the time. I literally watched what's his name? Russell Westbrook, when he was with Oklahoma City against the Warriors one time. The ball's inbounded to him, and he took 6 steps, just walked down the court with the ball in his hand, and Steph Curry's jumping up and down, and they don't say anything.
LeBron did the same thing, and I think Russell Westbrook was the one jumping up and down on that one.
Probably the same way. Yeah, same thing. So it's just, yes, I get that, because sometimes those officials are like, all right, well, come on. There's nobody around him. This isn't changing the game. Whatever, we'll let it go. But in all actuality, a rule's a rule, man.
Yeah,
a rule's a rule.
And it can change the game. Okay, so, but congratulations to Donovan Mitchell. It's just cool to see that number. It's cool to see that big number.
So the next night, the Greek Freak comes out and scored. What was his 52? 55.
Career high 55.
And what else did he have with it? He had a triple double, did he not? Or maybe he didn't.
I thought he was just short of one of the things. But
either way,
yeah,
he comes out and scores 55. Do you think there's because the freak will come out and tell you he thinks he's like Giannis Antetokounmpo, I think he thinks he's the best player in the NBA. He thinks he could. He's probably unstoppable. But he legit probably, he puts his mind to it. I feel like he could do that every night. But if he did that every night, it would wear him down and he couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. Do you think he sees somebody like Donovan Mitchell do that? He goes, "Oh, no. I'm the king of this league. I'm going to one up you. I'm not one up you because he didn't one up him, but I'm pushing myself back out now. I'm going to go ahead and get me. Everybody's going to talk. You got your day. Now everybody's going to come back and talk about me."
I don't know. I don't know if they think that way or if he thinks that way, or I mean, maybe there's motivation there. Maybe he saw it and he's like, "Man, I'm pumped. I'm gonna play like that tomorrow."
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. But yeah, it was the career high for Giannis, and the numbers that are being put up,
dude,
the scores of these games this year,
130 consistently.
130 consistently. Yesterday, the Oklahoma City Thunder scored 150, beat the Celtics, who were one of the best teams in the league, by 30 points or something like that, without their best player, without Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Yeah. They scored 150 without him.
That's insane.
And beat a really good team. It's weird. It's kind of weird, but is
that the 3-point shot coming into effect and you say that, but Giannis goes to the basket. That's his game. Zion Williamson, who is hurt again, but when he's in, is dominant force for his team, and they are a playoff team when he's playing, and he's dropping 30 a night. None of those are threes. You know what I mean? Maybe they're 3-point plays. That was the other thing. Giannis, I think he was like 17 of 18 from the line.
Yeah, that's big for him too, because he's not a good free throw shooter. Yep, that's big time, man. That shows you how important free throws are. You are aggressive and you get to the rim and you go shoot a lot of free throws. I mean, when James Harden was scoring 35 a game for a couple of years there, and he was dominating the league offensively, he was getting to the line 18 times a game.
It's insane. It's a lot.
And he was a really good free throw shooter. And that's how you put up points. That's how you win games. Be aggressive. Get to the line. Make free throws.
If it was only that easy, what, huh? If it was only that easy.
It was only that easy. And, I'll tell you one thing that is not easy, actually. Sometimes it's hard. Rating Reese's.
We did not rate our Reese's, did we?
I had a horrible job with that transition.
Wow.
Anyway, we gotta rate them.
All right, so the hearts that we did, the Reese's heart, the big heart. I'm gonna call this the big heart.
That's exactly what I wrote down.
There you go. Did you rate it? Do you want to go first?
I rated it. I'll tell you. I rated it an 8.8.
Yeah, I low 9.2, which is low for me. Not to say that it's bad.
No,
it's good.
It's good.
But I need more peanut butter. There was the thing is, the consistency of the thickness of the chocolate throughout was not good.
Yeah.
I had the thin parts in the middle, and then thick is all get out around the edges. I couldn't get past it.
I want that thin middle part all the way around.
Amen to that. Yes. That's what I'm with you on that one.
Perfect.
I'm with you on that one. I got to rate Tom Papa real quick. Let me write down a number.
Good.
Oh, we're not doing Tom Papa now. No, next is the Mount Rushmore. We've got our Mount Rushmore. Eric Kagel, thank you so much. Last week we had Eric John Kagel come on here from Pennsylvania Lore.
You just see.
He was at the game. He was at the game Monday night. That was the reason he was in town from Pennsylvania, was to go to the game. So to bring a different part of the game up, he took his 15-year-old son with him. So Eric's not a drinker, right? They get to the tailgate. The guy who gave him the tickets, they get to the tailgate at 4:00 or 4:30, and obviously Ryland, these are like good Baptist people, man. Like they're not they're whatever you call it, the Eastern Baptist or whatever Baptist and Southern Baptist. the not up and chanting and yelling and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's what he is, I believe. He's a preacher. Which we did not, which we did not talk about last. Yeah, I wish I would have. Anyway, so, and his kids are good, great kids. And he says, so I talked to him. I said, man, that was that's a tough game, you know? And he's like, yeah, he said that it was like he had no words, just like everybody else. Mm-hmm. And Rylan goes, I said, so what'd you think about the party beforehand? And Rylan goes, I was just bored as I've ever been. He goes, oh, we go to this place, it's 4:30 and ain't nothing but Miller Lite all around. I didn't have anything to do. I was so bored.
Yeah.
I was like, man, you poor guy. I didn't think like that poor kid didn't do. Dad didn't bring you nothing. You didn't bring a cooler with you. Come on. So anyway, I thought that was interesting. The kid had zero fun before the tailgate part of the.
Sounds like an Adam Schmidt tailgate.
Yep. That's what I said. I said there was no football or cornhole. He goes, nothing. None of that was around us. I didn't bring a football. And I was like, oh, you just got to jump in on somebody's game, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just got to jump in on somebody's game. But anyway, Eric was on the podcast this weekend, and he came on, talked a lot of Altoona, Pennsylvania, talked a lot about his college baseball career. We talked a lot about a lot of things. And he gave us our Mount Rushmore this week.
That's right.
I can't believe we've never done this.
I can't either.
The Mount Rushmore of sunflower seed flavors. Mm-hmm. Adam, you went out and bought quite a few of them today.
Sure did.
Do you want to give me your Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, I'll get mine over with because you're the expert here on this. Mine's really, really simple. I got to go original. The original is the king for me still, honestly.
Really? You'd rather have original sunflower seeds than anything else?
I believe I would.
Wow.
I believe I would. I'm going original. I'm going to go. I put barbecue on here because I needed a fourth.
Okay.
Now, the barbecue that I bought from the store before I came here.
What brand did you get?
I got David barbecue.
Okay.
So I'm not a fan of David's.
No, David's. I'm going to tell you this about David's sunflower seeds. Used to be the only sunflower seeds out there. Mm-hmm. Big started coming out with these crazy flavors years ago. They've been out for a while. Like, I'll never forget, dill pickle came out. It was one of the first ones they came out with. And I'm like, what? That's nasty. Mm-hmm. And then the Lay's took over. We talked about this last week. Lay's took over as the official Major League Baseball sunflower seed. And I started eating the ranch Lay's because I always had ranch David. Now I was going to ranch Lay's. It was almost like a ranch powder instead of a ranch salt. It didn't tear you up as bad. And that's when I found out that everything David did was just like, coming from me, who's a salt king, it just tore you up a little bit too much. They tear your tongue up. They tear your mouth up. I can eat bags and bags and bags, except for I can eat bags and bags of all the other stuff, except for I bit the inside of my lip. And I was like, I'll power through it. I'll be all right. You know how bad that hurts. Mm-hmm. When you're chewing sunflower seeds, I do a lot in the front. And I was trying to focus on chewing in the back corner away from that. And every once in a while, you just kind of flip one up there and get a little chew. Oh, and it gets you right back in the front of that lip. Oh, so I have not had a sunflower seed since like 10:30 this morning.
How are you feeling?
My lip still hurts.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have the shakes or anything.
That's what I mean. Okay.
Yeah. Right. And I have not put any kind of salt in my hand and just licked it. I haven't done that. I actually put garlic salt on a piece of toast today and did not give me a little extra dab on my hand and lick it like I usually do. Mm-hmm. I did. I feel pretty proud of myself.
Good for you. That's very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's impressive that you didn't put garlic salt in your hand and eat it. Good job, Chris. Way to have restraint.
I know how you like your salt.
I do. So anyway, continue on.
So I'm going to go I tried the David, and I think it's the type of a barbecue flavor that I wasn't crazy about. I feel like it's a smoky barbecue. I think I'm more like a zesty or
like a
tangy
brown
barbecue.
sugar, a little extra brown sugary.
Sure, anything you make sweeter, I'm gonna like, but yeah, but I like a little zest or a little kick maybe in my barbecue, but not a smoky hickory barbecue. Um, but I'm putting barbecue on there because I was surprised that I didn't like them as much as I thought I was going to, because I like a barbecue flavored almost anything.
Sure.
Throwing that on there. I'm going ranch. Ranch is
what ranch though? You gotta give me a brand. I mean, we're going sunflower seed flavors because David's Ranch and Big's Ranch and Lay's Ranch, all different.
I bought the Lay's Ranch today. Have never had that.
Blue bag.
Yeah, I bought the smaller pack.
It's the only way they come.
Okay.
You can get a bigger one, but you can't find them in stores. It's almost impossible.
I got you. But you got a guy, don't you?
I wish. I've looked into buying sunflower seeds by the case.
You're somebody's guy.
I'm somebody's guy. I've looked into buying sunflower seeds by the case and just can't bring myself to do it. I know. But no, I used to go through 2 of those sleeves a day.
So I tried these. They weren't bad. I remember the David being really good. I really like those. I'll go David. I'll go David Ranch.
Okay.
The fourth one I've got on here. I hope you let me do it. Kernels, sunflower seed kernels, no shell.
I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I love those. I love those because you get a little tap in your like I do with my salt, a little tap, and there's 30 of them in there.
Yeah.
You know how long it take me to eat 30 sunflower seeds?
I know.
Take a while.
Yeah.
Boom. Wow. And straight to the dome.
Way faster.
Because sunflowers, it's not just about the flavor. The seed itself is a good flavored legume.
Yeah.
Or nut or whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Yeah. I like a sunflower seed kernel. It's fun kind of sometimes to chew them up and not chew them up, but like, work it open and get it to one side, then you're eating the other thing on the other side, and you get the flavor in all parts of the mouth and everything. But the kernel, you pop them. And here's the thing. Salted, of course, is a little better. I have looked a million times. It's hard to find unsalted kernels. It's hard to find them.
Yeah, you can't. I don't know that I've ever had them.
I have.
Why would you want unsalted though?
Because they're at that point they're good for you. Like
that's why you
nutritional value. Yeah, and the kernels, I was for a long time
sprinkle them on the salad or something like that,
or a handful of unsalted kernels. Yeah,
good for you.
It's if I'm eating them, I'm kind of eating them for their nutritional value anyway.
Good for you. Me too.
That's a vegetable to me. That's my vegetable.
If it's a vegetable, I eat more vegetables than I eat anything else. If sunflower seeds are a vegetable, I eat more vegetables than any other food group.
With the shell, they're
hands down, not even close.
With the shell on them, they're a candy coated vegetable.
Oh, I'm down for that. It's like dipping your vegetables in ranch, right?
Just
it's like having a little ranch dressing with your carrot,
or dipping your vegetables in chocolate.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. I don't think I've ever done it, but why not?
No.
I dip anything in chocolate. I put bacon in chocolate. You want to talk about good?
I dipped pepperoni in chocolate at your house on New Year's Eve or Halloween.
Yeah, it's Halloween, I think.
Yeah. But anyway, I'll go kernels. Salted, unsalted, whatever.
Wow, good. So this is one of the ones where Adam's just like, it's like the bottled water. Like Adam was like, I mean, I don't know. Kroger. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, man. Just whatever. So, all right. So I want to start this out by just going up to, hold on a second, going to the Big's website. Bigs are becoming huge. They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 9 flavors of Big sunflower seeds. Okay. I have not had all of them. There's one that's a hot sauce. I haven't had the hot sauce. There's a cracked pepper or something like that.
Sounds like it'd be good.
I mean, it sounds like it'd be all right. I have not had that, but I think I've had everything else. I've had the tangy barbecue. I've had the sizzling bacon. I've had the taki flavor. Yeah, you ever had Takis? You know what Takis are?
I know what they are. I
A
don't think
little
I've ever had 'em.
spicy. I've had the Old Bay. I actually ate the Old Bay for a little while. I feel like the Old Bay needed more Old Bay.
Oh,
The ranch. I've had the ranch. I'm not the biggest fan of their ranch.
okay.
If I had to pick between the big three, we'll call them the big three: Lay's, David, and Biggs. I'm going Lay's ranch.
Okay.
Out of the three ranches, I'm not even putting the other two on the Mount Rushmore, even though for years I only ate ranch sunflower seeds, starting with David. So I'm putting Lay's blue bag, 50-cent sleeve, 2 for $1. I think they're 59 cents, 2 for $1.
Inflation. Biden.
Somehow, I think they actually are. I think it's $1.09 now, actually, for 2. So anyway, those are up there. You go. Yep. Well done with the roll. That's a tight roll. Oh, it's because you got tape on it. Oh, these for me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sweet. So that is I'm definitely eating those
Oh,
tomorrow.
that's dessert maybe tonight still.
So I'm gonna tell you this: last time I lost a bunch of weight, besides the fact that I didn't drink at all for 3 months, I also did try to eat better. So I did not eat anything after 8:00, and I wouldn't eat anything until 1:00. So I had a very small window, and I took a pretty big fast, right, in between the day. But I had to put my own spin on it because I can't drive around in a truck and not have something. So instead of not eating anything, because people always be like, "Oh, how do you do that and not eat all day?" And I said, "Oh, no. I am allowed to have sunflower seeds." So I'd eat sunflower seeds. There'd be days where I only ate dinner. And I just eat sunflower seeds all day long. Now that I think about it, I'm saying sunflower seeds are the reason I'm so regular.
Okay. Do you see the seeds come out
No.
full sometimes?
No, I don't look that deep. I'm sure they're in there. So the dill pickle are disgusting. I'm not a dill pickle fan, but I'm going to tell you my all-time favorite, my number one favorite sunflower seed. They're also missing one on here. So there's a 10th one that's on my Mount Rushmore. That's not on this front page. My all-time number one favorite sunflower seed I eat every single day, minimum of 1 bag every day. Biggs Taco Bell taco flavored sunflower seeds. Purple bag. Absolute best. You didn't like these?
I hated those.
Absolute best thing I've ever put in my mouth. I like when I get to my truck in the morning, if I can't see the sunflower seeds underneath, like because they're more than halfway gone, I like start shaking. And I'm like, I gotta get to a store because I'm gonna have to have. But then I leave them open in the center console. If you're watching on YouTube, I just leave them open in the center console, and I just constantly throughout the day just grab about 5 or 6 of them, throw them back there. Got my little cup, spit them in the cup. These by far number one, not even close.
Wow.
Not even close. Not even close. Number 3. I meant through all these things that are on the front page of Biggs, but they're very difficult to find. So maybe they don't make them anymore.
Okay.
Dad turned me on to these.
Okay.
I very, very, very much like the Little Caesars cheese pizza sunflower seeds. Those are Parker's favorite too.
Wow.
They're in a white bags. They're in a white bag. Tons of like cheddar flavor on them, a lot of cheese flavor on them, which I think is what I like about it. But it's got a little zest too for the pizza. That right there is number 3 on my list. Now, and then there's, you got bacon. Oh, here's some more that they have here. There's the cracked pepper. They've got a buffalo. Man, I can't, like, there's got to be somewhere where you can see all of them, right? Sunflower seeds here. There it is. Pepperoni pizza. Boom. Right there. Pepperoni pizza.
Okay.
The dill pickle, the taco supreme. That's the one. That taco supreme. What'd you get? The sizzling bacon. Sizzling bacon's all right.
I didn't love it.
I'm eating that before I eat the dill pickle. Yeah, but sizzling bacon's not bad. I'm not a fan of their ranch. They have a cheeseburger as well. I've had the cheeseburger. Buffalo wing, Nah, not
No?
there. No, the
I
chili
see.
lemon is good. Chili lemon is good. But after all that being said, my number 4 on the list is the Lay's barbecue.
Lay's barbecue.
Lay's barbecue. It's the same sleeves as these, but in a red or brown sleeve.
Mhm.
I am completely away when all my baseball kids bring sunflower seeds with them to practice and games and everything. And I 100% if somebody, I'll walk up and I go, "Hey bro, let me get some of your seeds." They're like, "All right, they're in my bag," because I see them spitting seeds. I walk over there, and if they're original, I'm like, "What is wrong with you? You know what world you live in? You're not 9-year-old me. You're 9-year-old you in the year 2023, 2022, 2023. You have so much available to you in every single store.
Yeah.
Why are you eating regular salted sunflower seeds? It makes no sense. Well done on this, though.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
You got more? What else you got in there? Oh, I saw a
got
barbecue. I saw the barbecue on the David.
I wasn't crazy about these.
Yeah, I'm not a David barbecue. It's the Lay's barbecue that I'm in on. These, I don't feel like these have enough on them. In the regular?
Original. Yeah.
Dude, you spent some money out there today. There's 3, 6, 9, 12, 13. There's at least $15 worth of sunflower seeds there. And you made my day.
Those are all yours, by the way.
I appreciate that. They'll be gone by the end of the week.
Nice.
No, they won't, because the Biggs flavored or the dill pickle will be there for a while.
Oh yeah.
I ate the rest of them.
There's
I won't eat these.
even the ones that aren't bad. If you won't eat
will.
this
No, I'll eat
original,
them.
I'll take the original back. But
No, I'll eat, unless you want to eat them. You want to eat them?
I'm
I
good.
mean, I'll eat them. I'll eat them when when I run out of one of these and I don't have anything in the car. I'm gonna open it up and eat them.
sure, good. I'm glad you like the taco surprise. I thought that was the worst one of all the ones
It's my favorite. It is my absolute favorite. I love the Taco Supreme.
I'm glad you'll eat those.
Yes, 100%. Like this will be gone tomorrow. 100%.
Wow.
What I bought today is almost gone because I finished off almost immediately today. By like 9 o'clock, I was done with the first bag. Got another bag. I had a long day. Went all the way out to Winchester, Indiana. And on the way back through Connorsville and a whole bunch of little small cities. So killed another bag. I've got like a very small sliver left in that bag. So this will 100% get taken down tomorrow. I'll send a picture of the dead soldier.
Please do.
Gone.
That soldier. You made the drive that I make every other weekend or whatever.
Yeah, Winchester?
Which is I think right next to Muncie.
Is Winchester close to Muncie?
I think so. I drive through Connorsville, drive through
Richmond. Go down around 40 through 40, or what do you grow up? What do you go up? 52, 27?
Yeah, it's all
Or does it take you through a bunch of
backwoods.
crazy stuff? I hate that. When my GPS tells me to go some crazy thing and then it brings you back to 40 again, or it brings you back to 27 again. I'm like, you know what? I'm just staying on 27 the whole time.
So I'm on one a long time.
One will take you. One's a big one. will go through Centerville, Indiana as well.
Mhm.
Centerville takes you through one. Connorsville is all that one. Brookville.
Yep. Go through Brookville. Yeah, through a bunch of. That's the thing. Like, it's all these like two-way, one-lane highways,
Yep.
and then you suddenly you're in this little tiny town.
Yep.
This little tiny
And
town.
you're
with
going
a couple
30 miles
stoplights.
an hour.
You're going
So
30.
awesome. I love that part about it.
I do too.
love it.
Yeah.
All the old timey stores that are still open.
Yep. The Amish cheese shop I've never seen anyone at.
I love it.
Yep.
All right, let's see. Here's Muncie. Where am I? Where do I go? Oh, dude, yes, right there. There's Winchester. Like probably, I bet that's 15 minutes away from Winchester where I was at.
Yep.
Yeah, you're a little further west. You're quite a bit further. I don't go that far west. That's about as far. Richmond, Winchester. That's far. I go very, very. It's west for me, but on the very eastern part of Indiana, and then just go north.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, besides the point. Besides the point. Good conversation, but besides the point.
Yeah. You guys are welcome for listening to that.
Yes, absolutely. So anyway, sunflower seeds, real quick. Eric was the one who taught me, who said, you can be, when I was a kid, once again, everything it's all stems from something Eric said to me as a kid that he probably doesn't even remember. But as a kid, Eric was in town one time and we're eating sunflower seeds, and he's like, you can eat sunflower seeds. You can be a sunflower seed king, but to be a master, you have to be able to throw a handful of sunflower seeds into one side of your cheek, eat the sunflower seed. But now, if you don't have anywhere to spit them out at, you got to be able to transfer it to the opposite cheek and then continue to finish the entire thing. So once a day, just to make sure I got my mastery skills still there, I'll throw a handful in, even though I've got a clear spit cup next to me. I will transfer an entire cheek load of sunflower seeds in the mouth, chew them up, eat them, transfer the dead shell to the side, and just keep it going.
Let me ask you this. What's your opinion on people who eat the whole seed, just chew
I
up
think
the
you're
seed?
insane. This is what I don't understand about that. It doesn't it doesn't feel good when you swallow it. Like, it hurts. That, and then you get people who, I hate when people kind of get into my truck and they're like, oh yeah, I'll take a couple seeds. The guy, you go, I'll just spit in this. I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. Number one, that you want to spit in the same cup that I spit in.
Yeah, it is.
But number two, like, then you get out and I look inside this cup. What did you do to that? What did you do to that
Put it through the
sunflower
wood
seed,
chipper.
man? My sunflower seeds all look the same. It's two halves. It's all it is. Sometimes you might get a little quarter of a half, but you still flick the sunflower seed out. It's just the shell. That's it. It looks like you could put that back together,
Yeah,
and it'd be a shell.
Yeah.
That's what it's in there. Whatever you did to this, I feel bad for the sunflower seed. You didn't even eat the seed. I can still see a bunch of the seed chewed up, spit back in this cup. What are you doing?
Yeah. I will admit that on more than one occasion, I have, just to get the taste, and it was years and years ago, was probably original. Just suck on the seed for a little bit and spit it out. Yeah.
I can honestly say I'm going to tell you this. I try to, as I'm pulling up to a stop, I'll try to guess how many sunflower seeds I can throw in for the last handful and try to beat myself getting to the door. Sometimes I got to spit like 4 full seeds out at the door. Sometimes it's only one. Sometimes I'm hurrying up and I'm click shelling. I won't spit the shell. When I'm in a hurry, like if I'm trying to beat myself to the door of a store or a restaurant or wherever I'm going, or a call, I'm flipping shells I don't even spit them out. I flip the shell over, I don't even eat I flip the seed over. I don't eat the seed. I flip the seed over, spit the shell, flip the speed, spit the shells, flip the speed, sit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do it.
Speed.
Flip the seed, spit the shell, flip the seed, spit the shell, flip the seed, split the shell. Same difference. But that's what I'll do. And then I'll go, oh, I get so excited that I timed it right. Like, I'll just, how much of this handful is right? Is it 7? Is it 12? Is it 8? But then I'll get in there, and then I'll have a whole cheek full of like 6 or 7 sunflower seeds to chew on for about 30 seconds. Get excited about.
That's funny.
Although I got to tell you, people probably think I'm a hacker. I'm coughing constantly because I constantly get little pieces of sunflower seeds stuck in the back of my throat and I can't get them out. And now in the world that we live in with COVID, everybody looks at you like you got 6 heads when you cough.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'm still doing that at work. I hear somebody coughing, a little bit away. I'm like, ugh, go home. guy I work with today is over there talking to somebody from the other side of the office. He comes back, he starts packing his stuff up. It's the morning still. And he goes, I don't know, hopefully he doesn't, this isn't like a bad thing against him, but he might hear this because he's listened before, but he goes, he says something about his kid, and I go, oh, sick kid? He's like, my wife's got COVID. he's like 4 feet away from it. Like, okay.
Oh, so great. So we were at the Xavier game. I don't know if I can tell the story on the air. I'll tell you the story afterwards.
Okay.
This could get someone, I don't know, this could be bad. Not bad. Anyway, I'll tell you that story afterwards. It just had to do with somebody who got done saying that their kid had COVID, and they knew that day, and they were in the room cleaning. They knew it, but I'm still going to the game as I just got done dapping you up.
Yeah,
literally right then.
People really don't care anymore.
And
they really don't.
And then 35 minutes after the game, well, I just tested positive for COVID.
Oh
boy, I won't get too deep into it, but
oh boy,
oh my gosh, I was. Now look, you know how I am. Dads don't get sick.
Sure.
Although I have got sick this year.
That's true. COVID did not touch one.
Not a single dad was sick with COVID. But no, I definitely get sick. It's just not that bad. I don't get man colds. I don't get like, people talk about man cold. They like guy will lay on a couch and just whine and cry all day from a cold. I don't like, if I feel like maybe I got a little cold, I just blow my nose and go with the day. Or maybe, I don't know.
When I'm sick, I'm like, I don't want to go anywhere. Don't talk to me. Don't touch me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm sheltering for a few days here.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know either.
Yeah. It is a really weird thing. We don't have to get into it, but it's when you feel something, a little tickle in your throat, a little scratch in your throat, you sneeze a few extra times, you cough a few times, you're like, kind of weird. Do I go about my day? Is it probably nothing, but also maybe it's something?
Oh no, the chances are it's something, but it's been something for 50, for how old are you? 40 years? For 41 years?
50
years. I was
yeah.
still thinking about Kegel. But it's been something for 40 years. It's just now we've had COVID. So now when you're sick, it's you do not come to work. We don't we ain't spreading nothing anymore, which is probably a good thing.
I think it's a good thing. Yeah. You know me though.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about another thing that I think is a good thing too.
Okay.
And that's Tom Papa.
I like it. Tom Papa. Let's do it.
Good.
I'm 100% good. I'm done talking about sunflower seeds and COVID. So, Tom Papa. All right. So let's just get it going. It's called What a Day. Tom Papa. Tom Papa is he's got his own kind of way of delivering jokes. I like it. I think it has to do with his voice maybe, and his, I can't even do it. It's not a whine, but his delivery is kind of unique.
It's soft kind of.
Yeah. Like it's like I like him. I've liked Tom Papa since we did his first one. That was the first time I'd ever heard of him. Then he's on Comedy Central, Sirius Radio, Comedy Central Radio, however you say that, with Fortune Feimster. They've got their own show that they do every day, which is hilarious.
I've never listened to it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I shouldn't say it's hilarious. It's okay. It's okay. It's not hilarious. It's okay. They are better. No, it's not the bonfire at all. They are funny comedians, but when they get to talking, they're just regular people. And I want your comedian person. That's what I want. I want the comedian to be on this show. Anyway, Tom Papa is kind of a sneaky funny guy. I think I said this before. He's a sneaky funny guy. Like, you see Tom Papa, and if you just listen to him for a minute, you're like, he's sneaky funny.
Yeah.
He's got really good punchlines. He delivers them well. Some of them are very easy to see coming. Some of them he slides in really well. The old people stuff about his mom and dad was hilarious. All the marriage stuff with his wife, and the snoring and the sleeping and the difference between dating and being married. That stuff's easy for us to laugh at, right? Like, we're older, it's like he said something about a guy. One of his friends was like, I just don't know. We've been dating for 5 years. I just don't know if she's hot enough to marry. Yeah. And he's like, hot enough to marry? What is wrong with you?
That was pretty good.
I thought that came out better than I was expecting it to. But that's also the way he is. But no, so funny. For the first 20 minutes, I was like, okay, I see this as a 3-4, 3-5. It's good. And then I had a few out loud laughters hit. The pug thing with the dog, that was pretty good. this, and then eventually he used spraying like a pug or something later on in the joke. After the pug with the pants on, and the analogies he used for dogs and stuff like that with pants on. We don't call them diapers, we call them pants. That was pretty good. There's a lot of funny stuff in there. I don't retain things very well, so I'm not good at, and I was not in a place where I could write while I was watching this, so it's all off memory.
So you were watching in your car.
I was watching in my car.
Which
you're right.
Which apparently Mike DeWine just signed some new much stricter law about texting and driving. Yeah, like
like where you can't, like if they see you holding a phone, you're in trouble.
I don't even think you can be on the phone.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be holding a phone.
Right.
You're not allowed to be holding that. West Virginia is that way. You drive through West Virginia and you have a phone in your hand, they're pulling you over. I don't care if you're looking at it to see the directions on it. You need to have it mounted, directions already put in before you go, and use everything. There's no reason that you can't. Nobody can use a touchless. Everything is touchless now. You don't have to touch it.
Mhm.
They will get you in West Virginia faux show.
I'm gonna make my background though just a thing that says I love the police or something like that. So when
Yeah.
they come by, oh sorry, officer.
So I
here's-"
take mine, but I put it like where my speedometer is, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're driving by me, you're gonna see that. But you're gonna have to be behind me to see it, or next to me on the side. If you're a police officer just sitting on the highway, you're not gonna see that tucked inside there.
That's true. Probably, yeah.
Yeah, and they may not, they might just think, and if they do see a light, maybe they just think that's the GPS that I'm looking at.
Do you have a thing like something that holds it there, or you just prop it up and it stays?
That's prop it up.
Wow.
I don't have a holder.
I've gone through, I bought 3 or 4 different things that mount on whatever.
Yeah.
I just don't like any of them.
I
want to have one that
Yeah.
mounts there, but
in my old car, I had one that was awesome. It like fit inside the CD player. And then you like twisted this thing. So it had this little sliver that was probably an inch. It was probably like 2 inches, 3 inches wide, but only like an inch deep. So it would only go like an inch deep into the CD player, maybe not even an inch, half inch. But then you twist this top and it spread open so it would tighten inside the CD player. Because nobody uses CDs anymore, so you don't have to put anything in there. And it had a magnet on it, and I had a magnet inside my phone case. Boom, pop it right there, and I could do it. Boom, that thing was easy, so easy, sat right there. In the truck, I didn't put it in there. I've got one of those, like you just set your phone on it and it charges, and it's just in the center console, and I just sit my phone down there now. But I loved that one in the old car, man. Boom, I'd pop that thing right up there, never have an issue.
I've got one
Maybe
that
I need to get another one. I
but
need to get one of those again.
yeah.
They make them now like that also plug in. So like you take it and you put it right up there on there. It's like a little magnet, like you just pull it off, put it on, pull it off, put it on. And it charges while it's up there.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that sucked about it.
Yeah. For a while I was looking at them, looking at a lot of them, a lot of different ones. And I didn't want to spend a fortune, but I wanted to find something that I really liked. And I finally found one that wasn't bad, but just there's something about, I don't know. I'm just so not used to having my phone right here.
No, I don't want to. You got that one of them crazy little gadget arms and it was mounted to the left. I don't like anything mounted to the left.
It was, yeah. I think that's where because I can't imagine having it in the center of the windshield.
I don't want anything in my windshield.
Yeah, that's what
I hated about the old GPSs. Like you get the little suction cup thing, and I could never find a place. I would mount my GPS on the left, but I'd put it up in the top left corner of my window because I can't. I need that windshield like that. I don't want it. People will drive with it like in the dead center of their windshield. Like, how do you drive like that?
I don't know. It was all the way over on the edge, but and down as far as I could get it. So it was like here. But it was still weird. It just like, I don't know. There was something about it I just didn't love. And then,
feel like you're losing sight.
And I also didn't, if I'm trying to use it,
you're not left-handed.
While I'm driving, I'm not left-handed, and it's just tougher to use like that.
Yeah, see, that's the best about that one that I had in the CD player. It didn't come up above. It was in the CD player. So it was like, it was down below the windshield. So boom, is right at, just below eye level, good to go.
Now I got the one where
You just hold it in your hand.
This is right.
Yeah, you just hold it in your hand.
Just hold it in my hand. Just hold it in my drive with my left.
Well, we have implicated ourselves.
Yeah.
We will be being pulled over as soon as you leave this place today.
I'm just maybe.
All
I'm
right,
just
so anyway,
trying to pull up the bonfire.
Yeah, I don't blame you. So Tom Papa. So the only thing about this, I thought it was really good. I thought he did a great job. Not a ton of pandemic stuff with it, which I thought would be more of that, but he did a little bit, but not a ton. Because he seems like he might be germphobe just because that's how he looks. That sounds so terrible, but just I don't know. Anyway. He and some jokes about his daughters were pretty good, like the going to college, and he said, "Oh, would you like some wine?" He's like, "Oh, Dad, I don't drink wine," and I thought, I'm such a good dad.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I smoke weed." He's like, "Oh, I'm a terrible," but she doesn't love it as much as I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, he said he stopped smoking weed for 4 years, and literally he knows she's ripping bongs 20 feet away down the hallway, ripping bong hits. That's what it was. So I liked it. I didn't think it ended very well. I think he could have got a better joke to end with.
We say that a lot. I
can't remember what it was, but I felt like, oh, no, that's how you ended it. Like literally 3 minutes ago, I laughed really hard. You should have ended this 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought it was really good. I've been given a lot of 4s and above 4s lately. Like I said, for a while, I thought this was like a 3-4, 3-5. I'd like to give this at that 4 range. I'll probably go 3. I'd like to go in a 3.8 to 4.1 ish. I can't go 4 because I can't do a 4.0. So I'm either gonna go 3.9. I'll go 3.9. I'll go 3.9. That'll be mine.
How about this?
Oh, Tom Papa, what a day. We are dead smoked on. Adam Schmidt's got a 3.9. I don't know how you find any writing in any of that.
Oh, yeah.
Any of that journal. There it is.
Sure.
Such good notes by you, by the way.
They're not good notes, but thank you. 3.9 for me too. I always feel like I say the same things, but I love that he is just a pure comic. I'm just going to call him a pure comic.
Yeah, he's got yeah.
There's hardly any, if at all, any act outs. The microphone was in the stand the entire time.
And he was holding the microphone stand 98% of the time.
Yep.
Just standing there.
Stood there in the center of the stage with the microphone and the microphone stand and spoke funny words.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Funny delivery, funny words. That everything was done. It was that he's an old comic. He's been doing it forever. Like I watch a bunch of these documentaries on comics and like guys that have died and guys that have been around, and like Tom Papa's in the background of the LA scene on like all of them. Back in the 80s, this dude was around. I didn't know who he was until we did the special on him last year, 2 years ago, whenever it was. 3 years ago, man, that was an early one.
I think there was a long time that I had heard his name several times, but I never paid attention to it.
Yeah.
Never paid attention to him. And then at some point I saw him do stand up. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. And, and I think part of it was like how he looks. You kind of mentioned that. Like, this guy can't be funny.
I mean, he just doesn't look like a funny person. And when he just talks normal, he doesn't sound like he would be a funny person.
Yeah.
He sounds like he would be a whiny little ding dong.
Yeah.
Turns out he's a pretty funny guy.
He's a funny comic. Yeah. So that's I enjoyed it.
3.9 is good. 3.9 is good. We had a run of some really good ones there for a minute.
We did.
And so 3.9 is very good. Mm-hmm. I think he is your, if this makes sense, probably not, but I think he's your average good comic. He's not an average comic. He's better than that. He's a good comic.
Yeah.
But he's your average good comic. He's not knocking my socks off constantly, but he also just does it right. And like, I would go watch this guy And if he came back 2 weeks later, I'd go watch him again
I love that.
because I feel like this dude's probably is consistent. I feel like he's, because of what you just said, he's a prototypical old school stand-up comic.
Mhm.
And those are usually the guys who are consistently funny. That's why I think people like Amy Schumer or, certain people that get a little overboard with stuff, and they're maybe not Amy Schumer is not the right word, but not the right one, but some of these comics that are overboard and get a little too crazy, they can have super funny specials and then can just throw a dud out there pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a person in mind. I'm not going to say it.
Why? Who cares?
What if it comes back to?
But we're not doing anything. We're not doing anything bad here. We've talked good and bad about all comics. We're just giving our opinions. That doesn't mean that they're bad people.
I'm
I'm
not.
not saying anything bad about any of the people.
What if Whitney Cummings hears this? I don't want to.
Sure. Yeah. I should have known it would have been like a Whitney Cummings or a Nikki Glaser. Like, I feel like those two would have been high on that because they've got really funny
Nikki's
stuff.
Better, but
I think Nikki's funny. I think Whitney got her TV show, and the comedy side of things just haven't been as good since. Her TV show is great with Chris D'Elia. I can't believe that didn't make it. That was
called Whitney, right?
It was called Whitney. That me and Aaron watched that. I couldn't
never
believe
watched
that never came back on. I loved that. That was awesome.
Yeah, but you also think Two Broke Girls is funny.
I think Two Broke Girls is hilarious. Well, and Whitney came on right before, like that was part of the two. It was in the same thing. And Whitney Cummings was a writer on Two Broke Girls.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You
Anyway,
like Two Broke Girls?
I think it's one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life.
For real?
One of the worst shows I've ever seen. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So bad.
I love every bit of that. I mean, the premise was completely outlandish. However, very funny.
Yeah. Anyway, all right.
I love sarcastic Max.
We liked Max. I don't even know which one that is.
She was the
Kat Dennings?
dark-haired one.
Kat Denning or Dennings or something.
No idea.
Yeah. All right. Well,
is your notebook falling apart?
I mean, yeah. Every one of these pages is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a cheap old.
I like that. It's the book. All right. So next week we need to pick out another Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. Who's up anyway? I don't even
So what did you do? You did the.
I picked Tom Papa.
Okay.
I mean, neither one of us really picked the.
No, but
well, that was.
I did Larry Bird moment. So I'll be on comics.
Well,
and
Parker
you be
did
on
Larry Bird. Well, yeah, you did.
It was my
Bird.
It was my turn. It was my turn.
Okay.
I'm taking credit for what I birthed. I didn't birth him. I didn't birth Parker, but I was an integral part in him being alive.
Yeah. Yeah, you were the doctor that delivered him, right?
Yeah, I was. I mean, I was there. Is it delivered when he wasn't delivered? He was taken. Like some kids are delivered. Other kids are, you got to cut in there and you got to reach in there and take them. Like some of them, they just come out and become, hey, here you go. Not Parker. Parker had to get cut out and pulled out.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Thanks for telling me.
You're welcome. All my kids.
Oh,
yeah. You ever heard of the Tight for Life Club?
I haven't, but I think I know what that means.
Nothing but C-sections over here, brother. That's all we do.
Oh, wow.
Man, that was uncalled for. I apologize.
I mean, I don't mind.
This is totally uncalled for. So I can't even find my Netflix app after that. So I'll be in charge of the comedy special. You be in charge of the Mount Rushmore. Do you have a Mount Rushmore in your mind? Oh my God, no chance. There's no way. Does Chelsea Handler have a comedy special out right now?
Yeah, it's a new one.
We're doing Chelsea Handler Revolution. We're doing that. Listen, Chelsea Handler, I was a huge Chelsea Handler. Once again, another Whitney, that's where Whitney Cummings came from, was the Chelsea Handler show. I don't know if it's where she came from, but they were comics together, obviously. And then Chelsea got her show. And she could be a little like, Chelsea got herself into some stuff all the time. I don't know
She says a lot of
She
stuff.
says some crazy, crazy stuff. Like she's in love with 50 Cent and would say some dirty, 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 dirty things about stuff like that. Anyway, that being said, I've never heard any stand-up from Chelsea Handler. What are you looking at?
Eliza Schlesinger. The note says fartable umbros.
Fartable Umbros. Gotta have the fartable Umbros.
I know I've got some of these things written down here, but
Oh, you're looking for your Mount Rushmore list.
yeah.
All right, so then I'll take a little bit more time and just kind of give you Chelsea Handler on Netflix. It looks like it says it came out in 2022. So I mean, we're only 5 days into 2023. So this is pretty new. And this looks like a typical stand-up kind of a thing, only she's sitting on a stool. She looks like she's gonna be sitting on the stool the whole time. Hour and 17 minutes. It's called a Revolution. God love Chelsea Handler. We used to watch when we first got married, we used to watch her all the time. I have seen the Hello Privilege. It's me, all about white privilege, and Chelsea Handler.
She was dating Joe Coy for a while. You know that?
I did not know that.
Yeah. They broke up like a few months ago.
Wow.
Mhm.
Joe Coy used to be on her show all the time. She would have a little comedy. She had a little comedy roundtable, and she'd have comics on all the time. Whitney Cummings would be on there. Joe Coy would be on there. I had to think Krista Leah would be on there. She used to have just a little roundtable, and they would just make fun of stuff. That's all they did.
I love that. That sounds like a perfect show.
Yeah.
Have we done TV channels?
No. Is this everything like HBO count, or is that a?
I mean, it's a network, but I would say that counts.
Okay, so that would be my real question. So, like, is ESPN a TV channel, or is that a network?
Yeah, I would say
Like TNT and Fox and
all of those.
NBC,
They're networks,
obviously
but they're
Fox
channels.
and NBC, and would be the basics. But then you have your Spike TV,
All
and
your cable channels.
Discovery, and all that's all in there.
I want to do TV channels.
Let's do TV channels.
And all that
there's
counts.
A lot, man. There's a lot.
Yep.
Are we doing the Showtimes and the HBOs and the Cinemax? They wouldn't be on mine anyway, so it doesn't matter.
They wouldn't be on mine either because I just have never had them.
Yeah, same. I mean, Game of Thrones is cool, but no,
Never saw it.
I'm just gonna, we'll just say no. I mean, it doesn't matter because it's not gonna be on either of ours. All right, that sounds good. I like TV channels.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good to me.
Chelsea Handler and TV channels.
She was on Comedy Central.
Chelsea Handler.
Yeah, the Chelsea Handler show.
Yep.
Great show.
Yep.
Canceled because I'm sure she said something she shouldn't have.
Absolutely.
Probably took quite a few times, but she eventually said the farthest thing that she shouldn't have said.
Yeah.
All right. That being, I like that. So we've got Chelsea Handler Revolution in the Mount Rushmore of TV channels. I love every bit of all of this.
Me too.
All right, man. So until next week, don't forget to turn your headlights on. Oh, and don't forget to pray for Mr. Damar Hamlin.
That's right.
And donate to his kids' foundation. Kids Foundation or Toy Drive? The Toy Drive or whatever it is.
Google Damar Hamlin Foundation.
Yeah, I'm already speaking into existence. $8 million by Sunday. $8 million to it will at minimum, and he's making it out of this thing. Speaking into existence.
I love it.
All right, brother. Till next time, don't forget to turn your headlights on.